Alright, online classes in session. I will be your teacher today, Mr. Rin. We have a lot to get through today, so let's get right into it. Kaz, I need to ask you very kindly to please mute your mic when not speaking. I can hear you drinking, and it's honestly kind of concerning that I can hear a person gulp from a different city. Now, I hope everyone's done their homework from yesterday because we have our show and tell presentations today, and I hope you all remembered to bring an item to show to the class. This is worth 50% of your final grade, and frankly, class, Mr. Rin's been on a bender since noon yesterday, and is in no condition to be taking care of you snot-nosed, underachieving, talentless, stupid... Anyway, are there any volunteers for who wants to go first? I'm so excited to see what you all brought. Make sure to tell a fun story with it. Don't disappoint your teacher.
I'll go.
Great, we have a volunteer. Go ahead, start whenever you're ready.
Not classes. This is my item I brought for show and tell. This is my copy of Duke Nukem 3D. Now, if you're looking at it, it might just seem like, your normal copy of Duke Nukem 3D. It's very much just a disc copy, and not in great shape actually. It's actually in this one hand. The case is broken. It's not the only copy of Duke 3D I have. I actually have like 3 or 4 copies of it in different forms. But this one has a fun story to it. And that story is how I bought it. You see, Duke Nukem 3D has a very, very distinct cover art of Mr. Nukem blowing the brains out of an alien with his gun. And I bought this at a Bible Mission thrift store for 50 cents. And it was in with all the super religious music. And the only person who was working there was a very, very elderly, very, very old, very, very Christian woman. And I don't think I'm ever going to forget the face the woman made when cause like I understood the store I was in. I understood that this was an older lady. I handed her the disc like this. And she immediately flipped it over because the barcode was on the front. And the face she made, you couldn't have an actor with like all the time to prep in the world replicate the expression this woman made, and like the sound of like something leaving her body. And it sat with me for many years now. I think it's been probably about 7 or 8 years now. But I still have this beat up copy of Duke Nukem 3D, and it is one of my favorite items in my gaming collection. I have things that are more valuable. I have things that are definitely more interesting in terms of like what they are, or more limited. But this copy of Duke 3D, it is the game that holds a special place in my heart. So yeah, that's my presentation on my show and tell on this Duke Nukem 3D that's kind of got a broken case. Yeah, give me an A.
Wow, what a story. What a tale. It's so interesting how you scared that poor old woman. Okay, who's next? Alright, I see Kaz has his hand up. Okay, you can get started whenever you're ready.
I'm not mad, but it is a story that happened nonetheless. So one day, I go to my local game shop. It's great. It's cool. It's a cool store. Check it out. And I go there with my friends, and one of my friends decides to bring in Donkey Kong 64. And now, at some point while we're there, he specifically says, yeah, he's going to trade in. Um, he's going to trade in, and the owner says, "Yeah, well, I'll give you like $6 for that." And I basically said to him, "Don't trade it in. I will give you $10 for that copy of Donkey Kong 64." Um, and his response was essentially, "I want to support my local business. I really want to support my local business." I just want to reiterate, I'm not mad about this. I am not mad that this happened. But he said he wanted to support his local game store. And so, instead of taking my $10 offer, he got $6 from our game store guy. And promptly after, in a. I don't want to say I was mad about it, because I wasn't, and I'm not. But slightly after, I just straight up bought it off the dude with him still in the store, and I bought it off the dude for $20. And I mean, again, I wouldn't say I'm mad about this story. Like, I wouldn't even like posit or even like insinuate that I would be angry about this. But what I will say is that for some reason, I've never actually played this copy of Donkey Kong 64. In fact, I haven't even played an emulated version of Donkey Kong 64. I have never fucking played this game for no particular reason. No particular reason. I don't know why anyone would think that I would be angry, because I'm not. But yeah, that's how I got this copy of Donkey Kong 64. There's this really nice handwriting. You can. It's really cool that you can actually see the parts where the game store guy put the sticker on, and I had to rip it off. That was really cool. It's really cool that it's still there too. And I just want to reiterate that I am not mad at all.
Thank you for that, Kaz. Very nice story there. On to the next, though. Who wants to go? Anyone? Anyone at all? Alright, fine. If no one's gonna volunteer, I'll just choose for you. Pork, you're up. What did you bring?
So back in 2015, Kaz Naris and I were in college for print journalism, and Black Ops 3, I think it was coming out that November, and they had the Juggernog edition, which came with a bunch of other stuff like coasters, which arrived damaged, and this fridge. So I paid, after tax, I think I paid $294 Canadian for this thing. And, well, what does that kind of money get you here in Canada? So we've got a light up here for the fridge, which looks pretty cool. However, if you open the fridge, the light turns off. Also, there's a built-in speaker that's supposed to play sounds from the zombies mode. That also has never worked, so that's great. Inside, there are a couple shelves that go here and here. I just don't have them in right now. You can fit 12 cans, like, on their side. And it gets decently cold. The real problem, though, is this thing only lasted maybe, I want to say 2-3 months before it stopped working. And when I contacted Activision, they were like, well, did you have it plugged in all the time? And I said, yeah, obviously I did. It's a fridge. Apparently, this thing is a piece of garbage because they only want you to have it plugged in and turned on for 12 hours at a time. Now keep in mind, it takes more than 12 hours just for it to get cold, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. So I actually had to go out and buy a brand new plug that was higher end with some adapters and shit to plug into this thing just to make it work properly, which cost a lot more money. So was it worth almost $300? Not really. Yeah, kind of disappointed. But it looks cool, so I kept it.
Wow. You brought a broken fridge to show and tell and managed to actually tell a decent story about it. Congratulations, I have seen everything. Shame it doesn't work anymore. I know I keep one just like that in my office to keep my non-alcoholic beverages, and only my non-alcoholic beverages. Speaking of... Oh, thank God they don't make me turn on this camera, or I'd be in deep shit right now. Sliv, you're our last presenter today. Why don't you go ahead and close us out?
Shaq Fu! I bring you Shaq Fu. Now you might be saying, "Hey Sliv, this is the third time you brought Shaq Fu to class!" And you know what? You're right, this is the third time I brought Shaq Fu to class, but because that's so important. Shaq Fu is the greatest fighting game ever made, and no one's ever gonna prove me wrong on that. 14 years ago, I picked up this very Shaq Fu cartridge for 2 Canuck bucks. And you know what? Everyone said I was a fucking idiot. Rin was saying I was an idiot. Kaz was saying I was an idiot. The Nameless Gas was saying I was an idiot. And $2? Nah, Shaq Fu ain't worth $2. And I'm telling them, no, you're fucking wrong. Shaq Fu's worth more than $2. And you know what? That ain't it. That ain't the end of my fucking story, eh? Cause the story ain't fully written till the fat man sings, and I ain't the only fat man here. So I challenge you, Shaquille O'Neal, to trial by combat in 3 stages. 1, you and me, 1v1, best of 3 in Shaq Fu. 2, you and me, 1v1 in 3-point shots, cause I for sure know you can't fucking hit those, eh? And 3, a rap battle, you and me. We'll sell out the fucking Rogers Center in Toronto, Canada this year on December 25th on fucking Christmas. You and me are gonna finish the story of Shaq Fu and you are gonna fucking lose. So once again, I challenge you, Shaquille O'Neal, to trial by combat here on the Thunder Club YouTube channel. I've been Sliv, and I'm out. Fuck you!
Wow. Well, let's just call it here for today. Don't forget your homework to like and subscribe to the Thunder Club YouTube channel. The deadline is tonight to get that in on time, or you will be docked marks. Have a good rest of your afternoon, class. And if you have any more questions, feel free to send me a message. Anyway, class is dismissed. Get out of here.